Hello and welcome into the start of a new YouTube series for Madden 23. My name is Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at @halfandhalf_TPL if you're interested in following along. I play in a full 32-man online franchise mode. And so this year in my franchise, I got the Green Bay Packers. And so I decided to make a YouTube series out of it. This is an introduction video to introduce the roster, the moves that I've made so far. Our regular season, Season 1, Week 1, starts tonight. We typically run 5 to 6 seasons per Madden cycle. And so I'll be live streaming the games. I'll be putting up some shorter videos talking about roster moves that we've made for you guys to follow along with the journey to take the Green Bay Packers to a championship. So I know you might be bummed this isn't Eagles content. It's not the Eagles. Maybe we can get some Eagles players on our roster to begin with. So in our Madden draft, the way it works is we start off and we draw names out of a hat, and then we go down the list and we get to pick our teams. And so I actually traded back in the draft a few spots to pick up a second-round pick. So I come in to the league with an extra second-round pick. Now the Packers are a little cap-strapped. The Aaron Rodgers deal, we can pull it up here. The Aaron Rodgers contract looms. A lot of these contracts in real life, Madden just doesn't give you the flexibility that real life teams has. And so if I look at my salary page here, you can see some of these contracts the way they jump next year. You know, Aaron Rodgers is on the hook for $31 million, and then $40, and then $59. So we're really hoping Aaron Rodgers retires. Ideally after season 1 or 2, so we don't have to pay that. David Bakhtiari's contract goes from $13 million this year to $29 million, and then $33. Kenny Clark goes from $10 million to $24. Jair Alexander $7 to $20. Aaron Jones goes $9 to $19, and so you can see some of these contracts just inflate massively. The Packers don't really have a lot of cap space, and so we had to make some moves that otherwise we might not have made. And so I'll show you a few of those moves right now. Let me navigate to the rosters page here. The first one that we made is we traded safety Adrian Amos to the Browns for a second-round pick. Amos is a good player. He's a good safety. He's 29 years old. He's 89 overall. So he's about as good as he's going to get. He's got good speed for his safety, good coverage. We hated to let him go, but he was up for a contract. And we just simply, with the cap space, it was going to be an issue. And I don't like to push all the chips into the middle and be a win-now team. I like to spend season 1 setting up for the future. So I dealt Amos for a second-round pick. The second move we made is we dealt a cornerback to the Panthers for a third-rounder. Let me go find it. Safety Rico Gafford. Rico Gafford, he's really fast, which is why the Panthers wanted him. He's got 94 speed, but he's not a great player. He's 65 overall. He's already 26 years old. The Packers have good cornerbacks that we'll look at in a minute, and so I felt like we could move on from him. He was maybe going to be my slot, but I had another guy I could make the slot. And so I shipped him out, and it ended up turning into the Panthers didn't have a third-round pick. So I gave Gafford and my third-rounder for a second-rounder. So we accumulated yet another second-round pick in this draft. And then the final trade that we'll talk about that I've already made is I made a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars to acquire safety Cisco. Now, I might have overpaid for Cisco a little bit. No, he's not on their roster. Well, let me show you what I gave up. I gave up Rasul Douglas. Douglas is 27 years old. The problem is he's kind of slow. I don't want 88 speed necessarily on the field for me at cornerback. He was going to be my corner 3. Maybe he was going to be my safety after I traded Adrian Amos, but I liked Cisco better. So this was sort of a throw-in to replace the safety. But the other piece that I gave up, and this is a big piece, but it was right tackle Elton Jenkins. So Elton Jenkins, 26 years old. He's a good offensive lineman, and I value offensive line more than most in Madden. But Jenkins needed a contract, and Madden introduced these new motivation and tags for players this year, and Green Bay is not a big market and it does have income tax, and so he was showing as extremely unlikely to re-sign with me. So I got what I could out of Jenkins, and I really like the player that I got in return. So let me show you Cisco. He is a rookie in real life, 22 years old. Unfortunately, normal dev, or excuse me, he's a second-year player, but unfortunately he is normal dev, but he's got 92 speed at safety, which is so important. And so I've got 92 speed, 73 zone coverage. This is a guy that I think I can build up, and it helps me a lot with salary cap. The only other move that I've made to the roster was signing cornerback Isaiah Johnson in our free agency draft. So after the team draft, we each get to pick one free agent. So Isaiah Johnson is going to be my slot corner. He's 92 speed, 71 man, 69 zone coverage. So he's fine as a slot corner for season 1. So let's take a look at the roster and depth chart. So obviously we have Aaron Rodgers, who maybe he'll keep playing. Maybe he'll retire after season 1. We don't know. But unfortunately, I would like to trade him and get some value, but the cap penalty is just too massive. He's going to have to play out his career as a Packer. We have Jordan Love as the backup, and honestly, Jordan Love isn't terrible in the game. He's still young at 23 years old. He's got 81 speed. He's got 91 throw power. His accuracies aren't awful, and his traits are pretty good. So I don't know that Jordan Love will be my quarterback moving forward, but there's at least a possibility there. At running back, Aaron Jones is a good running back. The problem is his contract ballooning, and running backs are easy to build in Madden. So Aaron Jones will be on his way out. He'll probably play this year for cap reasons, but I doubt Aaron Jones sees season 2 on this roster. A.J. Dillon is kind of a power back, and I think power backs are the way to go this year. He's not very fast, but he's got good trucking and stiff arm, and so he can be in the mix here. And then I really like this guy, Tyler Goodson. He's 21 years old. He's a UDFA. He's got 92 speed. Terrible trucking, but we're going to try to get him some reps. And so maybe between Dillon and Goodson, we can have a running back in the future. We'll sort of see how it plays out. At wide receiver, we have a duo of rookies in Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Both fast, 93, 92 speed. Both 6'2", 6'4", so these are solid guys that we can build at receiver. And then, you can take your pick of Alan Lazard, Sammy Watkins, sort of as that third guy. Neither of those guys are probably long-term pieces for this team. So we don't have a great receiver room, but we do have 2 good builders here if we can get the offense going. At tight end, we have Robert Tonyan, who's actually pretty good. He's got good speed. The problem is he's 29. He's in a contract year. I'm not sure what he's going to want to re-sign or if we'll be willing to pay it, but I do really like tight ends, and so we're going to look to make a move at tight end if we don't keep Robert Tonyan. Our offensive line is anchored by David Bakhtiari, obviously one of the best left tackles in the game. The problem is from there it gets pretty thin. We've got Josh Myers. He's a 73 overall at left guard. John Runyon is a 71 at center. Sean Ryan, the rookie, is a 70 at right guard. And then Zach Tom is also a rookie, a 68 overall right tackle. So outside of Bakhtiari, the offensive line's not great, but that's a place that you can always draft players down the road. They're a little hard to build. I wish I hadn't have had to move Elton Jenkins, but it was either that or lose him in free agency. So that's the offense. On the defense, we have Dean Lowry. He's in a contract year. He'll be gone, but we'll have picks that we can use to replace one defensive side. On the other side, we've got Devontae Wyatt, the rookie. He is star dev, which means he's going to progress faster. He's 24 years old, though, so on the older end for a rookie. I have shopped him around. I'm continuing to shopping him around a little bit. I could go either way, keeping him versus moving him. At defensive tackle, we have Kenny Clark, who's just a stud in the middle of the defense. 96 strength. He's 90 overall. He's got 93 block shed. He's going to anchor our 3-4 defense. We're going to base out of 3-4 because of Rashawn Gary, the outside linebacker. He's 90 overall with 86 speed, and he's got really good pass rushing moves, particularly his power rushing moves are good. He's atrocious in zone coverage, but that doesn't matter. We want him rushing the quarterback anyway. So Rashawn Gary is going to be our primary pass rusher. On the other side, we have Devandre Campbell. 85 speed. He's got really good tackle ratings. He's not, or excuse me, this is a middle linebacker. He's got a really good tackle rating. When we look at coverage, he's pretty decent in coverage too, 77 zone coverage. So he's a solid middle linebacker if on the older end in terms of Madden. And then we have the rookie Quay Walker, who's 22 years old. He's fast, 88 speed. He's star dev. This is the main guy that we're going to use her. And then Chris Barnes is kind of our all-around backup. And then at right outside linebacker, we've got Preston Smith, who is again on the older side. Decent rushing moves, so we can rush him a little bit off the edge as well. But he does have better coverage, at least with 59 zone coverage, than Rashawn Gary. Now the secondary is where I'm excited about this roster. We have Jair Alexander, who's just a complete stud, 96 man, 96 zone, 92 speed. And then we have Eric Stokes, who's young. He's only 23 years old, and he's got that nice 95 speed. And so his coverage, they're not great, but 80, 79, you could do a lot worse at launch. So I've got a CB duo that'll last me long term. Isaiah Johnson is fine as a third option now. That's definitely something that we'll look to upgrade. And then at safety, we've got the guy I already talked about, Andre Cisco, the speed demon at free safety. At strong safety, we have Darnell Savage, who is 93 speed. He's got decent zone coverage. So we've got a really speedy secondary. And of course, we got Mason Crosby and Pat O'Donnell as our kicker and as our punter. So overall, the team is pretty good. Looking down the road, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do at the quarterback position, whether it's Rodgers, whether he retires, we go with Love or someone else. We're going to have to decide running back. We're going to need a third receiver. We're going to need to build the offensive line, a defensive end, linebacker. There's a lot of things that we can do, but I think one of our top priorities is going to be building the offensive line and probably acquiring that third safety. So if we look here at my roster page, where we sit right now after the trades, that's the practice squad, is I have my first round pick and then I have 4 second-round picks. So I've got a lot of ammunition in the first draft that I can go draft some players that I can develop for the cycle. I've got to draft my way out of the cap hell that the Packers were in when I took over, and then we've got our full complement of picks the next season. So that's the draft. That's what the draft looks like. Let me show you the salary page right now. So right now we have $24 million in cap space, barring moves, which we'll make a couple. We need to fill out the roster. I'll pick up 2 free agents when I'm able, but we'll roll over a little bit of cap, and we should be fine to set ourselves up moving forward salary cap wise. We're just not going to be able to go wild with free agency spending for the first season or 2. So, like I said, we're going to be running a 3-4. On defense, we're going to pick up 3 players as we're able. We need to definitely go sign a cornerback. We've only got 4 on the roster right now. There are some good guys in free agency. When we advance tonight, everybody gets 1 free agent pickup, so some of these guys will go, but like we mentioned, we need offensive line help. Obviously, it's a 1-year thing, but there's Jason Peters, Quentin Spain. There's some guys that could help on the offensive line if we wanted to snap those up. We can also go grab a cornerback just so we fill out our cornerback room a little bit more. So those are some of the decisions we will make tonight. And then we'll start into the regular season. So my league advances every 72 hours. That means once every 3 days I will have a gameplay video going up. I'll stream my point of view. I'll be on Facecam talking during the game. They will upload to YouTube, but it will always be on a delay. And so if you want to watch the games live, you need to go follow me on Twitch. My Twitch is half and half. So you can go to twitch.tv/halfandhalf. Follow me there. Turn on notifications. You'll get notifications when I go live for AFL games. And I'll download the videos and then I will upload them usually the next day. So if you want to watch live and interact, you'll hear me interacting with people. That's what's going on. Otherwise, I will stream them out to YouTube probably the day after. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. I hope you enjoy following along. Drop me a comment here if you are planning to follow along. Let me know what kind of content that you would like to see other than just the actual gameplay. I look forward to hanging out with you guys along the way. So again, give me a follow on Twitch at twitch.tv/halfandhalf and turn on notifications so you find out when I go live.